Alright, I think we're live. With a rare appearance of mine and a different game than I usually play. Let me check if everything is working in order. Test, test, test. Let me check if everything is working. Yeah, we're good. I said it like I was on a plane. So welcome. I needed some dopamine, so I booted up this gem of a game. And I just realized that I've been playing this for 40 hours and I didn't realize it. So that in itself is enough information for me to keep on keeping on. The thing with this game is I usually play ARPGs with, and I don't mean this in a derogatory way, but I play them very casually and just for just something to do, really. Usually I do something else while I play them, so I tend to listen to music genres I'm not very aware of, such as I actually learned to appreciate doom metal and stoner metal because of this game. Also, I tend to sort of think and chill, and I get a lot of dopamine from these games. And I was in a dopamine deficiency, as it were. So yeah, I just figured I'm gonna play it. I'm a little bit done with World of Warcraft, not because of the game itself. I don't. I try to stay away from, you know, the industry and the politics and opinion commentary on how it's going in the game industry. I tend to. Luckily, I look at games as just games, even though my passion for them is huge. But I have, in terms of a hobby, I have more than enough on my plate when it comes to playing video games and creating D&D adventures. So yeah, no, I choose not to really give a shit about where a game is headed creatively. If I like it, I like it. If I don't like it, I don't like it. Having said that, though, I was playing some World of Warcraft, and I'm a little bit fatigued with classic and hardcore, and I finished the Karesh patch of WoW Retail. So I did the raid, even though it was LFR, so it was very easy. But yeah, it was enough for me to close off that chapter. I'm happy to announce that I've recorded most of the raids, which are a primary inspiration for the D&D. At least they were at the start. I'm not sure if I'm going to continue on with using World of Warcraft for that. Because the grimdark D&D homebrew campaign that I made is far more based off of Warhammer 40k than it is World of Warcraft. The only thing that is sort of reminiscent of World of Warcraft is really the War Within vanilla campaign, which had a huge accent and huge emphasis on the Nerubian forces, which I think are one of the great factions of WoW, or rather the great adversaries of WoW. Really thought they nailed that one. I also liked Undermine as a in-between patch. Thought it was great. Showed a lot of versatility on the side of where they were going with the game. And Karash, I thought, was great as a final zone. It was very mysterious, very reminded me of like a mix between the Underdark and Spellhammer from D&D, if that makes sense. Whoa. The thing is, I'm playing the Warlock on World of Warcraft Hardcore, but oh shit. But for some reason or another, I just you know, I was like, I don't want to stream World of Warcraft. And if that feeling ever pops up, that just means to me that I have to stop. And funnily enough, I always buy a subscription of WoW when I start dreaming about it. I'm quite a vivid dreamer, so every night it's on. And usually the shit that I play in terms of video games, they take precedence in what I see in my dreams. I'm sure I'm not alone in that, but I hear that not everyone has these vivid dreams. And with me, it's like I'm playing a video game every night. It's great. Anyway, throughout my life, I play World of Warcraft, or I resub once I dream about it, because if I dream about it, that means I miss it somehow. And I like that feeling. Sometimes it's the realest form of FOMO that I can have. So I was thinking, what would be a good game to stream in terms of my own interests? And well, recently I've been playing a lot of Dark Souls 3. I think that's a good streaming game. And Dark and Darker, of course. But the thing with Dark Souls 3 is I want to stream that once I've completed the first run, because I don't like myself frustrated, especially on stream. So I'm not going to do that. And the other thing I wanted to explore was horror games. But to highlight that, I first need to explain a couple of things. Suffice to say, though, that for now, I'm gonna stop streaming World of Warcraft until it becomes relevant to me again, which probably will be, well, you know, if my personal life and my work life allow it, chances are I'll be booting it up again once TBC gets released. I am looking forward to that, and then it's on, truly. So yeah. Now the reason why I really want to play Path of Exile 2 again is twofold. One, it's fun. The game works really well, and I like the style. I like the setting, and the gameplay loop is just, it gives a fix, you know. So yeah, it's just my dopamine reward at the end of a long ass work week. So yeah, I just know that it'll do the job in terms of one reason why I play video games, which is just, you know, a quick fix. But there are other things that I want to explore with these games. For one, I want to enter a chapter in my streams that is actually going to highlight a lot of hardcore PvP. So I really liked streaming Dark and Darker, and I really liked streaming Mortal Online 2, and I have this sort of fantasy of streaming World of Warcraft hardcore Gurubashi style, and Diablo 4 on hardcore, with the express intent to, you know, kill other players. Because I don't know, it just shows you this high stakes in a game, and I'm pretty old school. I know people don't really enjoy hardcore killing and they think it's toxic. I'm not like that. I actually do enjoy it. So yeah. Just gonna explore that a little bit, and I think I need some practice in terms of ARPGs because I'm not really good at them, as you can see. This is a mercenary, and what's interesting about it is that I have, at level 45, I have found a way that I find enjoyable to play this class. That also seems to be pretty good. So it's basically I make a look, I have a glacial bolt that does this. So now they're trapped, right? Then I put down my trap to dot them, and then I throw them with electricity. And yeah, that seems to do the trick. But you have to be careful, especially with these volatile mushrooms. And again, bottleneck them. Oh, shit. Now, if you have any tips on how to play this better, by all means, share it with me, because I do need to get better at this. If I, hey, feel that dopamine. If I aim to make a streaming chapter out of this. Oh. See, I wish he could actually... Oh, he seems resistant to frost. Okay. Oh. Did he just... He seemed to have revived. Go on. There you go. Ah. How about that? He's actually reviving, for sure. Is that a bug? I don't think it's a bug. I think it's a thing that they do now. Alright, something is reviving it, and it's him. Reviving minions. You bugger. Now it's your turn. So last time I saw you guys, I was not really talkative, so I ran the D&D adventures. But one of the things that I was doing at the time was I talked about how Dark Souls 3 uses openness and emptiness in video games. And that sort of got me into this creative groove. And then I realized, oh man, I should, if I'm gonna stream again, I should probably update whoever watches this on where I'm at. Because I have these episodes, right? The grimdark D&D episodes. I think we're at 30 now. And I do look at them as a sort of arc that I'm going through in terms of hobby life and, of course, the actual D&D chapters. And it's really interesting to look at your own work/hobby life as an arc. I would recommend everyone to look at the hobby like that, because in your 30s, at least for me, if you've been playing since birth, video games, something changes at one point. You don't have the same spark anymore, but maybe that's also because you have changed as a person. You expect certain things from a medium to really satiate you. However, you could also just look at what makes you tick as a person and, find ways to invest in that. And for me, that has always been creating stories through video game media, or rather using video games as an inspiration for whatever storytelling I'm doing, which right now is the D&D chapter, which is going quite well. But yeah, in order to live like that, you need to balance work life and hobby life and, personal life things. So yeah, I'm just gonna report on a couple of things that I've been doing. And this was also sort of what happened at the last time. So the last time I really talked with you guys, I also needed to reflect. I needed to sort of reflect on certain things that are happening in life that make me want to play games as a means of tracking where I'm at. So yeah, I had some challenges at work. I kind of hit quotas that are needed, but it's such a busy day at work. You know, it's December, so I can imagine you understand that my workplace can be as busy as any workplace, really. And I sort of hit the quota organically. Like I sort of go with my gut with what needs to be done. Um, but I kind of have to take initiative and lay out daily structures at the job. Um, so I have a bit of a rival at work who has been eyeing me from his department, and we had a duel the other day. Sword fighting duel. It was this sort of HEMA thing that we were doing, and he actually cut me around the face. I think the scar is gone now, but yeah, it was interesting. I pushed him back in the throat, and everyone saw our little spat there. But I made sure that I, even though he caught me across the eye, he didn't win that one. You could see that he was cheating there. So whatever, you know. But then I had to report to the boss, who said, "You know what? You need to go on this expedition." So I got the Humvee. We went to Dunedin, actually, which is in the south of New Zealand, a very old place. That was the place where we had to prep our expedition to Stewart's Island. So anyway, I was away for a while. Let's just say that. Um, yeah. So what else? Well, yeah, I could see at least, you know, everything I did. I also had to set up these three projects, which I managed to do, and through that, my reputation sort of seeped in through the company, and at the very least, I got a fair assessment. Like, not only the shortcomings were seen, so that's good. Um, I had these goals the last time I talked with you about regarding these expeditions. And I had this physical exercise thing. Like, I had to look good and train. I didn't train for one bit. What I did do was I ate a little less and I just worked hard, and that actually helped. It made sure. Let's see. Let me check where we were here. Um, what? Take 50% less damage over time if you started taking damage over time in the past second. Take 50 more damage over time if you haven't started taking damage over time in the past second. What? I'm not doing that. Looks like we're working with this. An increased damage. Yeah. Okay, we can definitely work with that. And then here we have evasion rating. That's not interesting. No, this is interesting though. Full life. Let's do that one. So yeah, there were these measurable things. Like, I didn't work out, but I ate less and I worked hard, and I have lost some weight, but I don't. I look like a fucking hobo, so that isn't going anywhere. But I did design two full projects, and I'm at the cusp of creating the third one, which actually involves some studying of Grant Morrison's work and Alan Moore's work. Not only their ideas on comic books, but also sigil magic. I had to aid in a readjustment program for. They were sort of political sigils that had to be dismembered within texts, semiotics, that is. And that worked. The thing is, when you're dealing with chaos, you kind of have to try and get to its level, and from there incrementally go up to cage it, essentially. Yeah. Okay. where do we go now? Where is this temple? In the temple offering. Where is that? So anyway, those 3 projects helped, the readjustment program helped. I helped some colleagues. I guided some students. Actually, when we were in Dunedin at the expedition, I had to guide this lady who was very interested in the way we worked. Like, yeah, you gotta lower the boat, and there's a way to descend the mountain. So, one of the things that I also had to do was I just had to really work on the quality of my instructions. And so I really, and anytime something goes wrong, I sort of set an intention and then I make these measurable steps that I just go about like a concept and I sort of tick off the things, and whatever creates from there organically, that's what I focus on. All right. Alrighty. It's not really going anywhere, is it? Alright, let's have a look at the chat. Oh. Okay. There's this thing recently that I don't really get fuse when I'm live. Well, whatever. My car is working again. That is a good thing. They replaced the frame, or the bougie, which I don't know if that's the same word in English, but it does it makes sure that the spark plug is active in the engine. Oh, he's resistant, is he? Alright, he is getting better, my character is. Essentially, it seems like if you just go through the 4 acts, that's when you have sort of an idea of what your character is. Because this was a bit of a hassle to work with the mercenary. I rolled, when this game first came out, I rolled a warrior. That didn't go anywhere, so I suppose this is better. Yeah. Anyway, so the car got fixed. I had to fix my household because, there's a baby on its way. So, household is my job. And it's kind of cool because when you're needed in that sense, you kind of set a perimeter around your house. It's like, all right, now we also need to think about safety issues. And, yeah, it's cool. I like it. Let's see what to do. I have all these quest items, but I don't know what to do with them. Ah! Return to Alpha with the temple. Thank you. Thank you. So we just go back. Right, that could have been made clearer, but I guess it's still an alpha. Ah. Okay. So we go to here. Which would make me go here. So yeah, the rifle at work, it was brooding a little bit, but I mean, I think he's working for a different company, to be honest with you. Like a spy. Is in here? Yeah, Alpha. There she is. Hello.
You found it. Try placing it. Maybe we'll get lucky.
What else? Yeah, so I followed the daily routine at work. That helped. I fixed my PC. I'm not sure if I talked about that. It's fine now. The workouts, right, now I remember. I wrote this in the 26th of September. Well, Sober October was okay. I have been drinking in November, but not all that much. So I think my weight loss is due to that. D&D is going great. As you'll know this, because I'll be playing it in a few moments. Last weekend was shitty because I was very lazy. I didn't like that at all. What I do like, a new hobby, is finding out shit about Warhammer 40k. So, yeah, no. Work is fine. There's nothing going on really there. I've been writing. I didn't expect that, but I have. I found a way to do it periodically, and I've also been acting a little bit for a movie, and I need to increase my emotional range, and I'll actually do that together with you. So what we'll do is we'll play some horror games together, because that sort of makes you vulnerable, and I believe if you play that in a certain way, like you open the palm of your hands, that makes you far more receptive of the fear and the emotions that run rampant there. So I'm just gonna try and do that. Also helps with maybe creating some fear in the D&D campaign, from an artistic point of view. And with that, I would also announce to you that I am going to create a horror campaign, just to practice a couple of things, such as creating worthwhile NPCs instead of world building, and trying to tell something in a scary way, but also getting scared as I tell it. That's something I want to practice. Anyway, enough talk from me. It's time for you to listen to D&D. Let's see here. I'm going to disappear. Like that. And I'm going to play that file. Is this it? I think it is.
Hey.
Kind of odd. Thobrack made up.
Hey. Rue, what happened to the White House, mate?
Yeah, that's a good question. We don't want to talk about that.
To be fair, that was the Canadians, anyways.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about past events. I thought.
Well, we're talking about like
current.
War of 1812, I think.
Right. Yeah, I'm
Don't
just
know,
saying it's not
My
a good
knowledge is
time.
very super.
Maybe it's smart to show you a couple of things regarding this. Check it out. So this is the place where our adventure starts, and essentially this is the Feller Hold, the floating fortress that will guide the corpse of Upagandarf to the great beyond, where he will attain his throne in the halls of Feller and acquire Grungrir, his spear, which he will use from the realms beyond to aid the mortal realms. It's loyalty beyond the grave, as it were. So yeah, I'll shut up, enjoy listening to my players figuring it the fuck out.
It's superficial when it comes
Yeah,
to this topic.
It's not a good time in the White House now either. I'm just letting you know.
Yeah.
No, but to be fair, they're doing it to themselves that time. And that can't be blamed on us.
Yes, true.
What is
You're just,
the White House is just the house where the president lives, right? It's the
Yeah.
symbolic seat.
Yeah.
And in 1812, it got set on fire by the Canadians, who were part of the British Empire at the time.
Canada can't live with them.
Yep.
All right.
Well, you can these days.
And so America has 3 seats of power. It's the presidency, the Supreme Court, and the Senate. And that's how the world is run.
Yep.
Yeah, sure.
And you have to avoid saying "I am the Senate" every time someone mentions the Senate. At least I do.
It's not the Senate. It's the
Congress.
judicial branch, Congress, like Fess said, and the executive branch, which the president is the head of the executive branch.
Ah, okay.
Head of the judicial branch is the Supreme Court, and the head of the legislative branch is Congress, which is made up of the House of Representatives and the Senate.
Ah,
Well, look at this wrinkly brain, eh? Lots of information.
Not smooth at all.
and that's the
That's
thing.
that's one whole wrinkle right there.
One whole wrinkle devoted to the makeup of the American government.
That's how it works for 300 years. That's the rule set.
Yeah,
Nice.
they're supposed to all check and balance each other. Legislative makes the laws, executive enforces, judicial interprets.
And how's that going so far?
Horribly, the executive branch is trying to seize power.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Yes, with the executive branch being one name particular in parentheses. Who needs
Anyways,
no?
we're not here. We're not here to talk about IRL politics. You've got space politics to talk about instead.
Exactly.
Like who gets to take over the groggy
Yeah,
chum chum,
serious
the
business.
most strategic location on the space station ship we're on now.
Yeah. No. It's all shits and giggles with real life. Now let's get into real space politics.
Space politics. That's what Star Wars Episode 1 was all about.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Last time, to put simply, you reached Valorhold and entered that city. Thurbrack, with his seneschal powers, activated the city, which now is traversing through the cosmos and space. To elucidate a little bit on how this thing works, it is, by all appearances, a sort of floating fortress. But the thing that makes it rather unique is that, well, first of all, it's more than one fortresses. There's one here, there's one over there, and it has these clouds and fog around it, which are the wending mists. These are essentially sort of places in between, perhaps even interconnected clouds to a different realm that allow for its traversal, thereby bypassing certain forbidden traversal systems. It is a version of Chronax that is allowed. And just as a reminder, there are several ways of traversal within the universe. Chronax being forbidden because it's like a canal for demons. But the Subgelian has returned, and the Wending Mists, which are these, those are mostly operated by creatures. But the Firelhold is one of the few structures that sort of emits that mist. And you guys entered this beautiful place, and I think the first thing that we're going to do is see if you guys are all right, see if you guys are, if everything is working. Are there any status ailments we need to be aware of? Let's do a little
I
self
did get
check.
radiation poisoned last time,
Yes.
so I've got that -2 penalty to Constitution. So that.
And how does that make you feel?
I would assume very ill. Well, I mean, once we get like on the ship and the ship is underway, is there some sort of? Oh, there is a med bay, so I think that is probably going to be the like first port of call.
You are already on Valorhold, so
Yeah,
I take it you.
yeah. So Thurberg would make his way over to the med bay, despite the allure of the groggy chum chum, because you can't enjoy food if you're feeling sick and you just gotta throw it up again.
Same thing with alcohol, really.
Yeah, can't enjoy it.
Question, GM, in the Discord under inventory, you put 775. Is that current to each of us?
Yeah.
Is that new creditos for us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Money.
Monies? I love those.
You get a notification on your device. Bing!
Yeah, just your Barclays app just pings or whatever you use.
And we'll get to further salary in a few moments.
You guys getting paid?
So, as you head to the med bay, this particular fella says to you, yes, radiation sickness, this is a problem. Well, granted by Arch-Chaplain Jeff Fitter, I will give you a temporal sedative that will halt the effects. Your illness has now waned, but shall return in a few days. Unfortunately, we must seek elfin medicine for you to heal completely of this particular kind of radiation. Luckily for you, I hear that at the bridge we are headed towards such a place.
Right. Okay. Takes the medicine, puts it on foot, walks outdoor.
And you, it's essentially healed now, but you do have to check in with the hospital once we're there.
Sure. 3 days. Elvish, fancy elvish medicine. On my nice dwarven foot was his madness.
Well, you know, there's a time and place for everything, including anti-rat medicine.
How much? Okay, so that gives me whole 2 points of stamina back, and my saving throw is now back up to 4.
The doctor here takes a deep bow, and he says to you, "My dear Seneschal, have you reported to Master Warwick for you to be appointed to one of the palaces?"
I did not know that was a thing. I said no. Since we got the ship flying, this has been my first port of call, as you can quite imagine. And this is not the guy's voice I was doing last time, but whatever.
He,
As always, it shall change.
As always, the voice changes because I can never remember. The only voice I can do consistently would be like a weird West Country one.
Oh, that's okay, dude. Don't worry about continuity. The guy does a small wry smile, goes through the comms, and says something, but his entire voice changes into some metallic code. And a servant appears, takes a deep bow, and says to you, "Seneschal, if you so desire, I shall take you to Master Warwick."
Right, sure. I don't remember who that is. Are they supposed to be important?
Oh, wait. His name is not Warwick. Excuse me. It's Commander Lane. So, that's this guy. Yeah, I'm sorry, that he's based off historical figure, but I forgot that I gave him a different name. So I'll just make him bigger. So
That guy, big man.
that guy. So he is one of the most influential independent rulers within the Mercenary Kingdom and the Geoffroy-Mundarin Kingdom. And he has what is called a proxy seat, which essentially means that he is so powerful that he's one of those guys that literally has one of the most powerful armies and money and such. And he is essentially his whole life busying himself with creating money, creating a dynasty, and trying to have as much influence as possible. He is a well-regarded person within the universe, and most people would do wise to be friendly with him. And he stands up as you enter in his sort of ornate hallway and grants you a seat.
I'll give him a quick nod and then I will sit down.
Very good.
Thurbrek doesn't know what he's doing here. Fancy people with their fancy chairs. Oh, good rock.
It is good to see you, Seneschal. Are you at all aware of the implication of your new role?
I can't rightly say that I am. All I know is I got a feeling to stand, or I needed to stand to power up my ship. And it worked. And here we are now.
He looks at you and says, very well. Put it simply, your fate has indeterminably changed. You carry the burden of heritage, and you carry the might of the Gunderhan kingdom.
Right. I'm still not entirely sure what is required of me, if anything.
He does a small nod and says, perhaps it is best if we show you. Please, let us visit the corpse of Gandalf. Now, would you be so kind to introduce me to your friend, the one you traveled with, the elf? I assume he is your comrade, I'm not sure.
Oh, what? You mean... Oh, we're all doomed, man. You're right. Yeah, that's Eldenish, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
Yeah, we can go. Hang on. Let me just find out where he is. I don't know what the voice has done it. The voice has changed again.
How do we announce you as we enter his domain?
I don't think we need to be that fancy in announcing arrivals. I was just gonna phone him on comm and see where he was and walk over there.
And some other dude that is sitting at
Getting
the table
coffee.
is sort of coughing in disbelief. And Commander Lane keeps looking at you and he says, title is not just a formality, dear Seneschal. It is an announcement of your politics in one sentence, please. If you so require, we could do it for you.
I guess if I needed a title, I'm not sure what it would be. I am Thurbrek Broadstone, of Kazram's Hollow, member of the Mercenary Kingdoms. That is pretty much describes me to a T at the moment. Is that the kind of thing that would be announced, or is there more that would go to it?
He looks at you and he smiles. He says, It shows honesty, my lord.
Alright, well, honesty's good, I guess. I'm not one for fancy titles. I've not done anything too grand in my life that was deserving of parade and grand party or anything fancy like that.
Well, you better get used to it, sir.
Oh, alright.
Anyway,
Get the whiskey flask out. Have a little drink.
why don't...
That's that. All right.
Okay.
Why don't we advance to the quarters of Lord Eldenesh and announce you? perhaps it would also be wise to tell you of maybe our first assignment. You seem to be more akin to such patois. We,
Ah, if you got a job that needs doing, that I can do.
as a seneschal,
Yeah, I
it is
understand.
your duty to execute orders and oversee the execution of the orders of the God King. Furthermore, you bear the sacred colors of the old flame. This does mean that you have the taxes of dukedom upon you. I suppose it's smart if we first issue some non-aggression pacts towards the various factions. You yourself have served with freedom, no? The mercenary kingdom of the Leventrinsk Empire?
Aye.
Very good. If you keep up with political affiliation with them, everything should be okay. Now, we ought to issue a non-aggression pact towards Eldernesh and the elves. He probably inherits the current activities from the League of Blades, given that Seljan has disappeared. We also ought to have a non-aggression pact towards the Gondor and Miofra kingdoms. I can help with that. And last but not least, and this is in particular where you might shine, we need a non-aggression pact with the dwarves. They are riddled within the universe and they have entered the Stone Rage. You appear to be the only one who has not been affected by this. Maybe you can...
That's mildly worrying. I don't know if you've ever been in the presence of dwarf in Stone Rage. It's not a pretty sight. They're not watch for politics during that time.
And the guy next to him who did the cough says, "Sire, if you want, I could get a dialect coach to get him in order, you know."
What's wrong with Brex's way of speaking? It does change intermittently.
Commander Neil sort of keeps looking at you sternly and says, no, we will have to make do with what he is right now. Perhaps we should advance to Lord Eldernesh and address the non-aggression pact. Would you be so kind to join me?
But of course, you've been so kind as to explain my responsibilities. It's only right that I make use of that knowledge.
Very well. Let's go over to someone else entirely. Belon. Belon, it's kind of odd. Thurbrack made off to the Med Bay. We don't know.
He's very.
Yeah, he is very sick, so it does make sense. Now, the distance between the Groggy Chum Chum and the Med Bay is, I mean, it's like a world in itself. He took a transit system that's rather intricate, but essentially he's on the other side of the city / country. What is it that you are doing?
Well, Balan would probably want to go to the trade hub. Like right now, she's just kind of like trying to get in the mindset of missions and everything to keep her mind off of her current situation. Just trying to lean on that to do something. So she'd like to go over to the trade hub just to make some equipment purchases.
Very well. And you also were, I mean, it was in the heat of the moment, admittedly, but you were recruited into the army of the Gondor and Miofra Kingdom as Private Nell. I think you even got a promotion to Corporal Nell. At least that's what happened in between you being there and getting on this ship. But you still have to get that promotion medal. Is that something you would like? And of course, no is also an answer.
Well, she knows that she has a potential obligation there, but was not ordered to be anywhere. So, if she does receive a call or command to appear for the promotion, she will do so, but for now she's going to try to do her own thing and stock.
Very well. So you can go to the trade hub then, and well, let's switch over to Eldenesh real quick, see what he's up to, and then maybe we can have some bookkeeping. Dear Eldenesh,
Yes.
what is it that you are doing? Where are you going?
That's a very good question. I suppose, I mean, if he was supposed to have a domain of his own, he would probably have it there first. Otherwise, it's Magicka and Remedies.
Yeah, you haven't heard anything from you inheriting that thing.
Yeah, right. Well, in that
I mean,
case,
Wouldn't Eldenesh's domain be the streets of woe? That's how doom and gloomy
Whoa,
is.
man.
that's a bit too on the nose.
It's too obvious.
Very well. To Magic and Remedies it is.
Yes. Just to purvey and, I mean, yeah, he's all about finding new magical artifacts and things that could be of use, I figure.
Yeah, very well. And when you're there, Atrelus Whitman walks up to you. It says, Poe2, we have a problem.
I assume Eldenesh doesn't know this person since earlier, so he looks at him, just unsure why he's approaching him.
And he's sort of taken aback. He says, "Oh right, you don't remember me. Well, I'm Atrelus Whitman. I was the chief advisor of Seljan and Alex, the persons that rescued you. And given that the two of them are now gone, I suppose it befalls on you and I to maintain the League of Blades. How are you holding up?"
As he presents this situation to Eldenesh, he kind of looks down, contemplates it all, and just comes to the conclusion, oh, actually that might be the case. Damn. I suppose it befalls to us now, yes? Apologies for not remembering you. It has been a few eventful last few days.
And he sort of holds up his hands and sort of waves it away and says, "Oh yes, no, water under the bridge. I suppose I have a forgettable face. Say, it appears that Commander Lane wishes to speak to us. Surely he wants to recruit our faction, but I suppose it's best if we make sure that we do deals with him without being too much of a part of his faction, if that makes sense. Just so you know, the Seneschal Palace, right over there," and he points to the back of you, and through all the spires and archways, you see ridiculous, sort of pocket fortress within the fortress known as the Seneschal Palace. And he says, yes, Lord Dysel Fitter has acquainted himself over there. Not sure what that means, but so would you like a servant of us to announce you as we go to the proceedings?
I suppose that might be the best for now. I have no inherent titles as of yet, and no, let a servant do it.
And a random servant comes up to you and says, "Oh, right. So you are the son of whom, sir?"
Does that matter?
No, of course not. Of course not. Apologies, my liege. I should not have. I presumed. Is there any? Do you have a planet that you hail from, oh my liege?
Out of game question. Where the hell do I hail from? Now again.
So if you're an elf, that will be the Orus Midden system or the Conduit Grove system. But most elves are extinct, so those are essentially the only two places where there's some modicum of presence regarding the elves.
Were any of these areas, I mean, under the enslaved before, so to say, given his backstory? Like,
yeah, a couple, but the last elves had different phages, and most elves herald from those. And if you give him your details, he will do the rest. But for what it's worth, you come from the Conduit Grove, and you were part of the Jade Phage.
yes, that sounds good.
All right, cool. And then the servant says, see, word has it that you have powers, as it were. Powers that involve the future, the void. Could you describe what you have seen so that I can maybe write that into your title?
Must I say the one word that keeps popping up?
Assuming that one word is doom.
Doom!
He's-
Lord Eldenash Doomseer.
He stops himself from saying it. I mean, call me Farseer, I suppose.
Farseer, very well.
And you are correct. Those are some of my abilities for the time being.
Very well. Thank you. So, you guys are being guided towards a meeting room, and Eldenesh and Thurbrak, you see each other, and I suppose your first inclination is just to... I don't know, Thurbrak, what do you think of Eldenesh after the couple of adventures you've had with him?
What do I think of old Eldenash? I mean, he's not got any negative thoughts about him, I would say. He is probably just think he's a little weird with all the doomsaying. It's like, it's not that bad. Even though we have nearly died multiple times in that one battle, which was quite dire. Don't know, I don't suppose he would have ever met an elf before today, if they're so rare. I think Eldenesh is probably the first of his kind that he has met.
Right.
I'm assuming there are, or there would be, sort of like various exaggerated tales about elves that just like eternal beings that roam around the cosmos, their dislike of vampires, wielding strange powers. So he's probably sort of working a bit off of the rumours and comparing it to what Eldenesh has shown so far.
Right. Very good. And Eldenesh, you see Thurbrek with a whole host of people around him. Most noteworthy is Commander Ling, who you definitely know because Seldrin spoke with him quite often. How do you view Thurbrek?
From above.
Got him.
Nice.
It's a short joke because you're the dwarf and not insecure about his height at all.
Take a Benny, I laughed.
Just you wait until I get that power armor. Then we'll see who's the tall one.
You'll all see that.
You'll see. Because I'm gonna end up like the guy that built Killdozer, which is a reference you may not get because I think it's a very UK specific thing.
Well, I think Eldenesh concerns Thurbrek to be... I mean, he's been dependable so far. He's been doing well in every encounter and fight I've had so far. Now, Eldenesh... I mean, dwarves have their reputation and stereotypes about them too. And, I mean, so far, Thurbrek has been short, grumpy, and loud.
Alcoholic.
So, well, there are worse, trust me. So he sees him as competent and dependable in one way, but he's also working through, just like Thurbrek. What kind of a dwarf is he? Well, so far he's been kind of a dwarf. But he has
Thurbrek, a dwarf's dwarf.
I would say on the scale, he is not indifferent. He's above that level right now. He has a modicum of respect for him.
Alright.
Only a modicum.
And that was the stream, guys. See you in the next one. I'm gonna search for a party and kill this guy. Bye.